troopers and grinders, welcome to Hank's Think Tank, where your favorite paranoid schizophrenic war vet, good old Hanky Panky, covers the craziest and cringiest in MMA news. And boy, oh boy, troopers and grinders, do we have a lot of politicking and backstage manipulations for you this time, SkateTank Army. Everybody's getting a title shot these days. You get a title shot. You get a title shot. You all got title shots. Like pulling fucking Oprah Winfrey is Dana White in the UFC right now. And it's getting out of control at this point, troopers and grinders. Nobody knows who's getting what. And it's up to Hank the Tank to give you guys some updates regarding all the seediest shit going on in the UFC and other MMA promotions at the moment, because it's starting to get out of hand. But I might as well give you guys some updates, since it seems like everybody's playing tug of war with title shots. Featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, dream fight coming back. I want this, I want that. Gimme. Middleweight title shot. It's all coming together. Yeah, you know, it's very much expected after UFC 308 and a lot of big number one contenders fights and future bouts were decided, but apparently not fully decided or decisive, because yeah, it's just all over the place, guys. Everybody's placing their bets into the stock market. But I'm gonna go through all of that, as well as some just more bullshit regarding Jon Jones, Patty Beamlich, motherfucker, Conor McGregor. You know, the usual from those guys on their social medias and their reactions to all the stuff that happened at UFC 308. And yeah, I'm just getting into the news, man. Lots of teenage drama bullshit happening in the UFC, as well as some changes in management and employment in the UFC, which honestly is nice, because you can't let the shit fucking settle in the UFC at the bottom of these weight divisions for too long. Eventually, you got to do some downsizing, and some people got to go. So there have been some shifts in employment in some of these divisions, and I'm going to get to those as well. Some bullshit regarding Dana White during his post-fight press conferences and all his claims of this and that, and I always did this for this, or I'm doing this right now, and I'm such a kind soul. You know, the same old bull. Hey, look who we got here on Hank's Think Tank. It's Isha. Change your turn and face the strain. Changes. It wasn't soon that you were a new man. Time may change me, but I can't change time. How is it going, Isha? I love that old art rock song. Art rock song from good old David Bowie, or as he was known in the early days, Ziggy Stardust, or as some might know him, Aladdin Sane. Those are the good old days, man. Also, some creepy shit involving Sean O'Malley and the Hawk Tuah girl, if you can believe it. Can you believe that, folks? Can you believe it? The Hawk Tuah girl and Sean O'Malley, and we like Sean. Big fan of Sean. Israel Adesanya and Dustin Poirier. Yeah, I love those fighters. I met them once on the golf course, but yeah, Sean O'Malley DMing the Hawk Tuah girl 5 times. And I'll get to that story soon. I got to put up my curtain so that I don't wake up the neighbors and get the cops calling on me. But yeah, all kinds of shit. AJ, how's it going, AJ? Hank got knocked the fuck out. That is right, AJ. I keep getting knocked the fuck up and then waking back up and then getting knocked the fuck up and then waking back up. It's a repetitive cycle I just can't escape from. It's been 5 minutes, so let's get into my first piece of MMA news, shall we, SkateTank crew? What it do, SkateTank crew? Hey, man, listen. In the aftermath of UFC 308, and Khamzat Chimaev's submission win over Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles A. Oh, man. Bobby Gingivitis, more like it. Chael Sonnen revealed that Sean Strickland texted him about the title situation at middleweight. And who's more trustworthy in this game than Uncle Chael P. Sonnen? Nobody, I tells you, nobody. Claiming that Sean Strickland has confirmed his rematch with Dricus du Plessis, already being agreed to and contractually signed for a later date, and told Khamzat directly to sit down, shut up, and wait your turn. Sounded a lot like Ian Gary, the cuck. You'll do what you're told, Wolfie, yeah? Do nothing, you little fool of a thing, yeah? If Strickland's claim is true, then a lot of fans who are fully expecting Khamzat Chimaev to jump the line and fight DDP next for the middleweight strap instead of Strickland will be very disappointed. The UFC might also be kicking themselves right now, knowing that Khamzat is now the hottest thing at middleweight, and fans are itching for a title fight between him and Du Plessis. But at the end of the day, Raul Rosas Jr. style, it all comes down to timing at middleweight, and Strickland seems to just be one step ahead of the other middleweight contenders right now, for better or worse, regarding the UFC's pocketbooks. So, very interesting stuff. Sean Strickland apparently already signed on the dotted line for his fight with Du Plessis, and Du Plessis also mentioned that he will accept whatever the UFC gives him, even though he wants to fight Khamzat Chimaev over Sean Strickland next. But it seems like the negotiations process for that fight is already being put together. So Khamzat will have to wait, which is a shame because he usually gets his Dagestani privileges, but guess not this time. Yankees are losing. Ooh, very interesting. I remember it was tied before. That's some fucking news from Matua Sablin. That's bigger than whatever MMA news I got for you. God damn it. What is the score? Take off the woo-woo. Take off the gold chain. Take off everything. Ooh, bottom of the 8th. LA Dodgers 7. New York Yankees 6. Ooh, big stakes. Big stakes. Despaigne fired is nice. Yes, I will get to that. And honestly, I'm happy too because, and I'm sorry to say this because I know Isha's probably watching, but with Despaigne, a lot of wasted potential on his end. And if you can't beat Austin Lane, I don't think your future at heavyweight is going to be very bright. I know he improved a little bit in that fight, but was much of the same performance that he had with Waldo Cortez Acosta as well. And I don't know, man, he was just losing bettors money. And not exactly the best of performances. He just seems to gas out very early into the fight. Once he gets taken down, he's just a whole new fighter. He used to be great on the back foot with his timing and just finding that perfect sniper shot, but he had 15 minutes to do it against Waldo, couldn't get it done. And then against Austin Lane, there was never really a moment, oh my God, Lane's rocked. Like, in some ways, it was an even worse performance than it was against Cortez Acosta. So honestly, I'm getting tired of Despaigne being a disappointment in the heavyweight division, especially since the UFC was hoping that he'd be some big hype train who was going to bring some eyes to the heavyweight division. Instead, it seems like he's only lessening the prestige of the heavyweight division more and more with every fight. I mean, really, this is who they got fighting for their heavyweight division now, this guy who can't get up from a takedown, you know? Oh, it's a shame. I enjoyed Propane, Despaigne in his early years, but by early years, I mean early this year. But as he keeps going in the UFC, it just becomes more and more underwhelming. Sorry to say. But that's not the only guy who got fired. There were 7 fighters who got laid off just yesterday. So big time news regarding some shifts in employment in certain divisions. And honestly, most of them are very much justified. There is one, though, that I have a minor critique with. But anyway, how is everybody doing here in the SkateTank Army in the chat? Are you rooting for the Yankees to lose, Matua, or are you rooting for the Dodgers? Let me know. Because I'm rooting for the LA Dodgers just because of Shohei Ohtani and his incredible season he's been having so far in the MLB. I want him to not only have a record-breaking season, but also have this team go to the top and win it all, just for history of baseball's sake. And I usually don't give a shit about baseball, but I remember tuning back into it when I saw some of the highlights of Shohei Ohtani. So he got me back into the sport, and now I'm rooting for LA Dodgers to win it all. Plus, it's the New York Yankees. They're like the ultimate baseball villain, right? And also, is everybody looking forward to Moreno and Albazi? That card in JL's beautiful home place of Canada, good old Toronto. I'm expecting a bunch of the Canadian fighters to lose on that card. I'll be honest, guys. It's not going to look good. And it's a shame. Like UFC might have to shift its Canadian fighters back and forth to really get a new regime of big MMA talent. So let me look at that card for just a second. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, so it's gonna be Marc-Andre Barriault, who isn't exactly at his finest moment in his career. Mike Mallet, who I'm hoping bounces back, otherwise we're in big trouble. Ariel Helwani, Ayman Zahabi, who actually has a pretty good chance in his fight. Good old Jasmine Jasuda Vicious. They gave Jourdain a layup in Victor Henry, so if he isn't able to beat him, I don't know what to say. What's up, Hank? How's it going, Mushroom MMA? Good to see you. Press the X button. Wow, big man. And Chad Enheliger, I think he is going to lose. Serhi Society does have a chance against Garrett Armfield. I mean, there's some potential wins for these Canadian prospects, but it just seems like they often let us down. At the end of the day, they're not French Canadian George St. Pierre. Smash the like. That is right, troopers and grinders. If you are new to the channel or you are here and you are enjoying the craziest and cringiest of MMA news from Hank the Tank, then go ahead and smash the like button so we could get all you filthy animals here in the chat to hear Hank the Tank run his mouth, which is always good for everybody. Also, I was at a debate today, in case you guys didn't know, or you'll enjoy No Chill MMA's channel. Hank the Tank was in there, as I always am. And yeah, Hank the Tank's back on track with crazy political controversies and bizarre out of left fields, and I mean out of left field statements. And it's always good to have Hank the Tank here in the MMA YouTube sphere, because we need a little bit of fairness on both sides. You understand? We need to add a little bit more purple to that red, if you understand, daddy. But yeah, honestly, guys, it's a lot of bitching and moaning from fighters on social media for this MMA news, but it's always that at the end of the day. When it's between fight cards, it's usually a strange announcement. It's usually a major fighter going off cuff. It's MMA YouTubers getting in trouble these days, and that actually leads itself to some productive places, since whenever people on MMA media actually hash it out, it's usually over social media. And there are some bombshell announcements, man. We got to learn that Jon Jones is gay, and I'll always thank MMA Guru and the MMA YouTube sphere as a whole for letting me know that, so that I can continue to explain the devious and disgusting actions of Jon Jones, instead of it just being summed up to, oh, he read a sports book and that's what made him a monster, you know. Guys, how do you think who do you think has a better chance of beating Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland or Khamzat Chimaev? What do you guys think? Do you think Dricus beats them both? Or do you think Khamzat Chimaev bulldozes Dricus? Jones is a monster. Yes. Morally, yes, he is absolutely a monster. After the Hall of Fame, he was definitely a monster. Yup, chill. Yeah, I hate you. I hate you. My wife. You call her a bunch of nerds. I'm gonna make you my wife. You tickle my pickle, no chill. Anyway, my next piece of MMA news for the troopers and grinders out here. Listen up. Speaking of weird ass Sean's, Sean O'Malley has admitted to calling and DMing the Hawk Tua girl on Instagram 5 times following his hip surgery, saying that he was high off of Oxycontin from the pain medications following the procedure, and that his buddies pushed him to call and attempt a freestyle with a bunch of people. He went to Aiden Ross first, and then, with the encouragement of his friends, called that smooth-brained blonde and her degenerate friends 5 times on the Instagram app, high as fuck. He was able to have a civil conversation afterwards with the Hawk Tua girl. Very civil conversation. I'm sure their topics that they discussed were very mature and not childish at all. But Sean needs to stop listening to his pack of hyenas that he calls friends when he's partying. including Trump writer Aiden, Virgin Tate, and Schmitty Tears. Hey, I made that Instagram call massive. I cooked you up to the account of the Hawk Tua girl, and nobody bothered to ask during the time that Sean O'Malley was high off of pain medications. Where's Schmitty? Anyway, he's got to stop hanging out with those guys, along with whatever other late 20s, early 30s pukes are leeching off of him right now financially. Because as I've said time and time again, troopers and grinders, they're all a bad influence on him, and he's better than that. And I believe that. I sincerely believe that Sean O'Malley has a good heart. I think he just hangs around pretty bad people, including his wife. Stop piling on top of things you're already doing. You're already going to regret when you're 50. They're pushing you more and more into being an open relationship sleazeball and a professional cuck. Hang out with Ian Gary for a little while and realize the error of your ways before it's too late. Then you'll truly understand what it's like to allow yourself to get used by people. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, Andrew B. How is your night, I'm assuming, going? You did see that comment with musical? There were a lot of comments in musical stream, so I don't think I caught yours just yet. I just hop on for a second to see you. Thank you very much, Andrew B. I appreciate it. What do you think of this news story? And Sean O'Malley, taking the bet of his friends and calling that very strange blonde girl a bunch of times. He's got a wife, by the way. I know it's an open relationship, but it's always creepy when stuff like this happens. Can't necessarily blame him at the same time. He was high as hell, but high as a horse, I could say. But at the same time, just hanging out with Aiden Ross and all these guys, it can't be good for you long term. Now he's coming to me. Very very poetic and ambiguous text from Andrew B. He always gets more coded and sing-songy and how to put it, and more mysterious as he keeps going, man. It's I wish there was an Andrew B translator sometimes, but unfortunately there's no official Google language for that. I'm great, and I'm pissed with the baseball game. I see. So you're rooting for the New York Yankees, I take it. I got a question for you, Andrew B. Does everybody hate the LA Dodgers? It sounds to me like a lot of baseball fans hate the LA Dodgers. But then again, the New York Yankees are also a big franchise in baseball. So it's like, I mean, like, it's Shohei Ohtani, and he's fun to watch, And he did have a fantastic season this year. So, like, I'm rooting for the LA Dodgers solely for him. But I don't know. To me, the Dodgers don't seem all that bad. They have some fun, like, program choices during their games that I think are sort of fun. They don't waste their money, and they're going to be a successful franchise. So you got to give them credit for most likely winning another World Series. It's sort of like the Boston Celtics winning the NBA Finals. I was super happy with it. I love the Celtics. Like, there are certain franchises in sports that I'll always get behind just because I've always liked the name or the mascot. Musical will destroy me for what I said. Well, I talked to Musical in his chat, and eventually you were brought up. But he said that he was like, "Oh, Andrew B's mad at me, or he's beefing with me," and he didn't seem to be all that bothered by you, or wasn't like, "I'm gonna kill Andrew B for what he said." Like, I didn't get that impression from Musical. I think you need to be careful with your paranoia, Andrew B, because I think it attracts certain people, or it attracts anger with other people who would otherwise be your friends. Just know that as long as you just keep it a civil conversation and try not to alienate yourself, I think that you still have a lot of good friends in the MMA world, and I honestly do think that your mind is playing tricks on you a little bit. But anyway, let's get to Hank the Tank's next piece of MMA news, shall we? The possibility of the welterweight title fight between Shavkat Rakhmonov and Belal Muhammad at UFC 310 is all of a sudden being put into jeopardy and question after two MMA journalists shed light on a major rumor that Shavkat's knee might be injured and that the fight's off because of it. James Lynch mentioned a photo of Shavkat wearing a knee brace at one of his gyms during his Q&A stream and speculated about its ramifications, but then privated the live stream. Another MMA reporter named Kevin Kay posted on Twitter that he was told the title fight between Belal and Shavkat was off earlier, and seeing the photo of Shavkat's knee braces making what he heard before sound more legitimate. So it's coming from the perspectives of multiple journalists that Shavkat Rakhmonov might have a knee injury. The tweet got deleted soon after. Are James Lynch and this Kevin Kay guy trying not to attach themselves to a false rumor? Or is the rumor legitimate and the UFC is asking them to take their speculations down? If it is true, I'll leave you with that question. Have I missed much? Hey, girl, what you doing with that comment in your hand? It's good to see you. I can give you a quick rundown of the news. So basically, Chael Sonnen had a conversation with Sean Strickland, text message conversation with Sean after the win, after Khamzat's win over Robert Whittaker. And he basically said that Sean had said that he already signed the contract for his fight with Plessis. So it's already written, sort of set in stone, written on paper. And all the UFC needs to do is give DDP the contract and he'll sign it. Because DDP said he'll take the fights that the UFC is offering him. So I don't know if the UFC is going to pull a fast one on Strickland and just give the contract to Chimaev instead to start and sign. And I don't think that Strickland would be very happy with that. But it seems to me like a decision has already been made that the next fight's going to be Strickland versus DDP, regardless of the outcome of Whittaker versus Chimaev. So a lot of people are expecting Chimaev to just jump the line and get the title shot over Strickland, but it seems like it's too late. Sean's already signed the contract, and DDP said he'll sign whatever the UFC wants him to sign. So it's up to Dana White now. And also, Sean O'Malley fucking sent an Instagram call to the Hawk Tua girl 5 times. Why would anyone want to fucking send a message to that idiot? You know? Like the one meme is basically the equivalent of the catch me outside. How about that girl? Like who wants to actually hang out with that lady? And also I send a warning to Sean O'Malley that he shouldn't be associating himself with guys like Aiden Ross and Andrew Tate and all these other degenerates, because it's going to get to his head and push him to do some very stupid things that he's going to regret when he's in his 40s or in his 50s. So that's basically what I was saying. And then also, it seems that Shavkat Rakhmonov is injured because there was a photo posted of him sporting a knee brace that was mentioned by James Lynch. He ended up privating that live stream where he mentioned it. And then this guy named Kevin Kay said on Twitter that he had also heard that Shavkat was injured well before that photo was shared. And so now that photo is actually affirming some suspicions he has that the fight might be canceled between Belal and Shavkat. Coming across as desperate for Sean. Which Sean? Sean Strickland or Sean O'Malley? They're both sounding pretty desperate right now. Sean Strickland is desperate for that title fight with DDP, and Sean O'Malley is desperate to keep hanging out with women that aren't his wife. You know. But anyway. Yeah, the Seans are getting themselves in some trouble recently. And it's sort of fun, like when you got news stories about the two Seans, because like they're inseparable, those two. Hello, my bad, O'Malley mostly. Yeah, but he was also he also called the Hawk to a girl when he was on pain meds on Oxycontin. So part of it probably scrambled his brain at the same time, and he was just taking suggestions from anybody who was closest to him. So seems that he's getting led along by a lot of fucking pieces of shit in his life. And honestly, I wouldn't be hanging. Honestly, like when I was younger, like I hated even hanging out with friends, like being in a big friend group of like 6 or 7 people, because it's always about who can be the funniest and more offensive and the most mean out of anybody. And it never led to anything good. Usually led to somebody doing something stupid. And so I can't even like hold or try to butt in a conversation with a big group of, 7 or 8 people, much less have a giant fucking entourage that always try to like either bend to your will or basically push you to do something stupid because you're influential. Did he get any? Yeah, the Hawk Tua girl basically Hawk Tua'd on that thing. Well, she probably spit on the phone or something. But they ended up just chatting afterwards, and then the Hawk Tua girl basically said, "Dude, isn't he married? Doesn't he have a kid? Like, I'm not keeping this up." So even the Hawk Tua girl has standards. Even she doesn't want Sean O'Malley. She'd at the very least accept an open relationship with him. But yeah, it didn't. I don't think he got any. I did it to him on my channel, so I just deleted the comment. Smart idea, Andrew B. You gotta realize who your friends are, Andrew B, so that you don't say something stupid in front of them. Jesus, this looks like a fucking Adolf. Oh, brother. Was he on meds? Yes, he was on meds at the time. Because he had his hip surgery after his fight with Marab. Virtual spit job. That's her. Well, I mean, she was able to do a virtual spit job with a meme, and that's what got her into the limelight. So she has a podcast, so she's doing a lot of spitting on YouTube. Hank, how many D's do you think Kamala sucked to get to the top, and why is it over 1,000? I think she's definitely probably been in that position, but at the same time, I don't think she solely did that to get to the top. I think she is genuinely talented and charismatic, and has taken a lot of government positions, not just like being a prosecutor. She ended up serving as a senator, multiple state positions, and I wouldn't say she sucked her way to the top in every single one of those positions. Maybe in the early days, but then again, what Republicans haven't sucked their way to the top? Just saying. Like when you're in a party that is solely based around lobbying and hanging out with rich people and tending to their needs, there's a lot of dick sucking you got to do to get to the top, especially when you got Trump as a fucking nominee. But basically, I think she maybe in the early days, but I think as she kept going in her political career, she actually earned herself a lot of her positions and did a great job with that presidential primary, Democratic primary too. And I think that's what allowed her to become vice president and is now the candidate. So I think it's a combination of early sort of weird start, but then talent as she kept on going. At least she got remote work. Spit on that phone. Break time. All right. Catch you later, Andy B. Hank got to be lying right now. He's the perfect example of failing forward. I mean, she's gotten to a pretty good spot. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Suffering from success, I don't know about that. And I think she actually made a pretty good leader in California for the most part, at least as a senator. As a prosecutor, she's got her flaws. But but she did fight with fucking manufacturers and with companies. So I think regardless of what she has done early in her early days to get to that position, I think that she has been a good representative for the people. O'Malley's a loser and is ugly. Why would Hawk Tua want him? She doesn't. She doesn't. O'Malley wants her, or at least O'Malley's friends do. And that's why they basically pushed him to call her at like midnight. So his dumbass degenerate friends wanted him to call her. Anyway, let's get to my next bit of MMA news, shall we, troopers and grinders? Diego Lopes is rightfully pissed off that Dana White and the UFC have chosen Volkanovski as Ilya's immediate follow-up opponent after his win over Max Holloway rather than himself. He was very confused with the decision and posted on Twitter that if Volk's the number one contender for the featherweight belt, he's a Brazilian soccer player. He then mentioned in an interview that Ilya has stated he wants to take a year off and have his next title fight so that his next title defense can be in Spain, while Volk wants to fight as soon as possible. It would just make all the sense in the world to Lopes that he and Volk fight for an interim featherweight title while Ilya recovers, like in the meantime, and waits for his promised Spain card. And on top of good timing as well as easy to produce matchmaking, Lopes also speaks frickin' Spanish. So a fight between him and Topuria in Spain is just clearly the more logical and intriguing matchup for that venue. I personally think Lopes is right in every way. Volk said he'd be willing to fight Lopes before Topuria, and Ilya needs time off. If it just makes sense to have a number one contenders fight before that Spain card to build some hype, interim title on the line or not. So get cooking, UFC, and start cooking up an agreement or a signed fight contract with Diego Lopes if you would too, Volk. Not just a fucking burger. Jay. How could you call me a J? Paradox the chat. I'm clearly a K or an L or a G or a Giga Chad, you know. Got a D, you know. I'm a POS, you know. Not a J, man. Volk again? UFC keeps making shit decisions. Well, if you watched the aftermath of Topuria knocking out Max, and I can understand if you didn't, because who wants to fucking listen to what Topuria has to say ever? You'd see that Volk walked into the cage and did the stare down with Ilya, and then Dana basically said, "Oh yeah, we're thinking of having Volk and Ilya next." It was just a terrible booking decision, and Volk's gonna get fucking chinned if he does have the rematch. At least immediately getting into it. UFC keeps making shit decisions. That's what they do, dude. This has been honestly one of the worst years to be a UFC fan. Volk Moggs Lopes. And that's why you need to put that together. That's why that's the matchup to make. I don't know if he exactly Moggs Lopes per se. I do think that but I do think there's a good chance that Lopes gets the first shot and puts Volkanovski out cold. I'm sorry to say. I just find it very likely. Because he's just got crazy power and he's really quick. And like, if you're going to knock out Volkanovski, it has to be in the first round. So seems like a good matchup for Lopes, to be honest. I think Volk should have fought the winner of Sterling versus Evloev. I feel like that's an easy enough matchup. Should have gotten a bounce back fight instead of an immediate contenders fight. Give Volk one last chance. He's earned it as a company man. I'm not saying that in no universe should Volk get a title shot. Like, he has earned the right because he is a featherweight champ with 5 defenses and almost beat Islam. Like, he's earned his stripes. But at the same time, like, I just think it's honestly just better for him to face Lopes than it is to face Ilya Topuria. It'd be better for Volk. He'd really earn that shot with Ilya. Like, and I just think he gets knocked out by Ilya again, dude. I don't want to see that for Volk. If anything, I'm asking him to fight someone else for Volk's own sake. Interesting to see how Volk approaches the fight. Even if Volk loses, we will gain more data on Ilya. I think we've gained enough, dude. Like, even when he's getting pieced up by Max, he still finds a way to put him out. Like, his combinations and his timing and his technique are so good that eventually he will catch you. So it's a matter of you put him out or he puts you out, you know? So I think we've learned a lot about Ilya already. The dude's a fucking beast. Volk is 37. It would be his last shot. I guess so. It makes sense. If I were Volkanovski, though, I'd know that my goose is cooked and I'd fight a contender and get a win and then get out for my own family's sake. I did not till I shut off my laptop as soon as Max hit the ground. I did too. Yeah, it just pissed me off. I didn't want to listen to what Ilya had to say. Volk was winning the Ilya fight. Yes, he was. And then he got chinned, and Max was winning the fight against Ilya too, and then he got chinned. Like, it's not a matter of winning the fight. You have to put out Topuria to beat him. Like, it's like the Dricus du Plessis situation, where it's like, hey, Adesanya's doing great against Dricus, but he kept letting Dricus pressure forward and hit him with something big. That's why I like to actually compare Ilya to DDP a lot because both guys, they actually get pieced up a lot in their title fights. It's just they have different level of power. They're really good at switching their stances and pressuring their opponents up for the perfect shot. And then eventually they're going to find that chin. Like we got a lot of Terminators at middleweight and at featherweight as champions. And it's just a matter of, can you finish them or can you like definitively beat them? Because if you can't do that, if you have to run out the clock to beat them, eventually they're going to catch you. Until the fluke. Was it really a fluke though? I mean, Ilya was touching up Volk a few times in that first round and coming really close with bombs. Now his chin has time to recover. That is true. That is true. But dude, Max Holloway has a granite chin. He has a granite chin. And he got put out by Topuria, first man to put out Max Holloway. Like, I think Topuria's power is just scary and different. I am lying. Yeah, just making sure. Well, you pulled my leg, pulled my string for a fair amount of time there. So good, or yanking my chain for no diddy for a good amount of times. That was pretty good. I have a message for you, Paradox. Hey, girl, what you doing on a Wednesday night? Hey, girl. All right, let's listen in anticipation of what Hey Girl has to say here. Want the message? Yes, we want it. And I'm here too. Hank the Tank is here too. Listen in. I'll look the other way. I'll look the other way. If you just want a message for Paradox, I won't do shit. Nah, I could actually make an argument to why Volk will do better. Well, let's hear it. I got 2 more minutes until my next story. Let's hear your reasoning. We got some interesting MMA news from the people in the chat. This is big time mainstream news headliners. In the meantime, I'm gonna look at that fucking World Series Finals game. Miguel for Productions. Chimaev is the best. He was pretty damn good for what he did to Whitaker. I still don't think. I think DDP does have a good chance against him though. Easy. Dodgers win. Ooh. Let me see. Is it already passed? Bottom of the 9th. Yeah, that's true. New York Yankees. I mean, there's a chance. It's not over. It's the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers win. Chimaev is the best. I mean, we'll see. He's got to have that fucking that title fight first to see. And Dricus du Plessis, he's tough, man. He's a big guy. He'll be sort of hard to put away. He's got some grappling of his own. So that'll be an interesting matchup. DJ Aiden says hello and to stream again. Oh my god. Here we go again with DJ. Did you seriously set up all that for a DJ Aiden comment? Hey, girl. Great. Well, very, very productive use of Hank the Tank's time. You put a fucking savage like Max out cold. Ilya is the man. Yeah. Ilya seems pretty unbeatable at featherweight. Although I do think that guys like Diego Lopes or Gene Silva could give him a challenge. Like, they'll give him a challenge. So comes down to who can land the first punch and put the other guy out cold between Lopes and Ilya. But I will favor Ilya in his next fight. I think no matter what, if Ilya hits you, you die. Yeah. So, but maybe Volk with a recovered chin can actually spar more. No way he was hard sparring after that Islam shit. Fight like himself again, maybe some. Well, yeah, we'll see. Wrestling, I don't know, but I can see it. Interesting. Obviously, DJ said that. Yeah, it's sort of autopilot. He always says that. Yo, Nut Dip, how's it going? Always good to see Nut Dip here. Chimaev is the scariest guy at 185. Yes, but I think Dricus du Plessis is still really tough. So even a scary guy will have. And again, is he the scariest guy after round 1? Is he the scariest guy once 5 minutes have elapsed? I don't think so. Your reaction was worth it? Volk has no chance. Yeah, I unfortunately I think Volk doesn't have that much of a chance either. He'll definitely win some rounds, but he probably won't win the fight. Dricus can win. He can win if the fight goes past the first round. Miguel, I'm with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate, and then you have to do that sometimes. Every once in a while, the devil's advocate gets it right. You know who has no chance? Yo mama, Stipe. Yeah. Wouldn't it be ironic if Stipe was the unlikely guy to have a big title change that people actually like? Oh, that would be very ironic. Why is Nick Diaz fighting? I agree, Miguel for Productions. I'm sad that he's getting back into the cage, and it's gonna be a fucking mauling. Dricus is strong as fuck. He is. But Strickland might just beat Dricus. It was a very close first fight. However, I think I have Dricus by KO in the second fight just because I think he's got good enough coaching that he can learn to switch stances and actually present Strickland with some problems that he didn't expect in the first fight. I know Strickland has really good striking defense, but at the same time, I feel like Dricus is just one of those guys who finds a way to get it done. And so I think more often than not, it's Dricus finding the finish. So Sean won the first one. That's what I thought as well, but then I looked back and I think unfortunately the visual damage and some of the takedowns indicated to me that Dricus did. He legitimately won that, but it was a very, very close fight. Who do you got for Adesanya Imavov? Is that the fight that they're putting together? Hmm. Honestly, I really liked Adesanya's work against Dricus, so I'd probably take Adesanya against Imavov. He looked really good against Dricus du Plessis. And Imavov isn't exactly the most polished on the feet. It's so annoying as well because as it gets closer, these artards are going to be like, don't write off Stipe, man. People forget, man. Stipe Miocic, he was the heavyweight champion. People forget, man. He is the heavyweight GOAT, dude. And what is he, like a young 42 years old? Dude, people forget that's a great age. Randy Couture won the belt back in his 40s, and Glover Teixeira got back his belt as well at that age, man. Stipe's looking better than ever. He can barely walk to the cage. Stipe Miocic, he's the GOAT, man. He's a firefighter. Did you know that? He fights fires. I don't talk shit about Nick. He's gonna win. I'm delusional. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not talking shit about Nick, but I am saying that after that performance against Robbie Lawler, and how and just seeing those news stories about his ill training camps, ill-considered training camps, I just feel like, or ill-conceived training camps, I think he's going to be in trouble. I'm sorry. By the way, like the stream, guys, so we can get some more people in here. Diego is going to end Volk. I got a feeling, but I think Volk has a better chance at beating Diego than Diego has of beating Volk. I pray Stipe does it, but it won't happen. I think we're all praying for that. I was praying for Max to win, but you saw what happened. Stipe was a savage, but he's 90, unfortunately. Just like Holly Holmes. I've rewatched Sean versus DDP at least 6 times, and 5 of those times I thought DDP won. Yeah, there's different arguments back and forth. What's next? Marab versus Cruz? Yeah. People forget, man. Dominic Cruz, the bantamweight GOAT, in his late 30s, and got figured out by everybody. I wonder how Marab does against him. Nick Diaz is done. Please stop. He won't stop. Nick is so fucking old. They treat their veterans like crap, does the UFC. Always throw them to the fucking wolves. Should have been Ferguson versus Nick. I completely agree, Miguel. Even then, then Nick Diaz has a way to win. Imagine Tony Ferguson gets a win against Nick, though. That'd be pretty crazy. Jones is going to pick him apart and then give him an insufferable post-fight interview. Not if Tommy Aspinall is there, hey girl. Not if he's outside the cage with MMA Guru and goes inside the cage and talks all kinds of shit and puts that fight together, dude. I hope that he brings MMA Guru along to 3-0 309, and then they both get up in his fucking grill. And then Guru basically said, "He's gay! Jon Jones is gay!" And that puts the fight together, you know? "Oh, yeah, I'm not gay. I'll prove it to you. I'll fight Jon. I'm not a gay man." Stipe looks like he is 1,000 years old. The gal keeps increasing the number. Nick Diaz is done, but he's also fighting a victim of a brain hemorrhage. That is true. That is his only shot, is if he can get Luque down to the ground and beat him up, then he'll have an advantage. Because Luque would cover up. Rob is the 135 GOAT. Yan O'Malley Cejudo. Nah. Cejudo's washed. Yan was stuffing every single one of his takedowns, and O'Malley, you could argue, won 3 rounds. So yeah, not yet. He hasn't even had any title defenses yet. I'm tired of people calling people who are the new champions the GOAT right away. Unless you're fucking Volk and you've got a bunch of fucking title defenses together and almost won a super fight and are fucking Giga Chad, I'm not going to call you the GOAT. Rob needs to actually defend his title. I predict Luque grappling decision. Yeah, that's going to be so sad. Luque was a savage back in the day. Joff Neal really effed him up. Yep. And he effed up RDA as well. Jones would do horrible things to MMA Sturu. Only if Sturu allows himself to get up close to him. But he's got an Aspinall in his corner at the same time. People forget, man. MMA Guru is friends with Tom Aspinall. He's going to coach Tom Aspinall against Jones. People forget, man. We need to make a Tommy Aspinall chant during the entirety of that bullshit main event. Yeah. Closeted. He's a closeted gay man. Na 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 na. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Na 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 na. Jon Jones is a soy. Jon Jones is a soy. Na 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 na. Stipe's 42. Stipe's 42. Da na da na da 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 na. Ba ba na na na. Da na da na da da da. Everybody knows that Jon Jones is gay. Everybody wants Jon Jones to come out. Dana White, it never leaves the room when Jon Jones is around. Boom, boom, boom. Jon Jones is the number 1 pound for pound. If Dana gets his willy out of his mouth. I'm predicting Jon Jones tries to flirt with that Guru and lure him into a hotel room with Mayo. I'm gonna make you my wife. I want a ham and cheese sandwich. So squeal for me, piggy. Squeal. Wee, 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 wee. Come on, boy. I want to hear you louder. Drop those drawers. Squeal for me, piggy. Wee, wee, wee. You got a pretty mouth. Rob beat way better guys than Cruz. I mean, he beat TJ, so that's pretty good. And he beat Demetrius Johnson too. No, Cruz is fucking great. Rob ducking the Russian, though. Umar. Yeah, and as he should, because Umar's a spoiled little punk. Dagestani. With Mayo. Yes, sir. You can never... no piggy can resist a little bit of butter on top. And a soda as well. Can we get a Diddy impression with all this Jones talk? Oh, yeah. Hey, man, Stipe. Yo, Tom. I'm glad you made it. You're bad boys now, okay? You can live together. You can work together, but you got to make Diddy a hit. First thing you got to do is take a picture with Jon Jones and Dana White holding this mayonnaise. I'm going to need some some breast milk from a low testosterone Jon Jones. And I need you to be with MMA Guru. I need you to catch DDP and MMA Guru in the act. Holding these balloons. I'm a fucking genius. You know, this is MMA, but guys, you gotta stop fighting. You're breaking up the band. This is about making the band, homie. It's not about breaking the band. All right, listen up. I'm gonna need you to take a picture of Tom Aspinall having sex with Nina Drama. You gotta send me it quick. You gotta get fingered by an MMA fighter holding these balloons. How much money would it take? What would it take to get fingered by an MMA fighter? How about me, baby? I got a bunch of lube from Jon Jones. I'm thinking of selling my own P. Diddy lube with Jon Jones in collaboration with Jon Jones. And so I need Dylon and Jones to work together, okay? Make Diddy a hit. Dylon, and Dylon, because he spits hot fire. Oh, guys, you're giving me a lot of comedic material here. I appreciate it, guys. Oh, brother. Oh, shit. What was the result of the Dodgers game? There you go. That's it. That is it. Dodgers win the whole thing. Thoughts on the NBA? I enjoy the NBA. I enjoy watching it. I'm not MMA guru, so I'm not solely dependent on European players for me to enjoy the sport. I really loved basketball at the Olympic Games. I really enjoyed Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. I'm pretty sure all playing together on the Dream Team. That was pretty fucking cool. I really enjoyed that whole run of Team USA during the Olympic Games, and I always love watching fucking Steph Curry and the Warriors, dude. That's my team. It's my California team, Golden State Warriors, baby. Only time that I get to actually have enjoyment as a sports fan is watching the Warriors, because the freaking Athletics are doing shit. Don't give a shit about the Giants. Hate the 49ers in the NFL because they allowed the Chiefs to win 2 Super Bowls, those motherfuckers. The NBA, I love the big 3-pointers to win the game. There's always new shit happening in the NBA. I enjoy the NBA. And they haven't gotten themselves in trouble as of late. They're not fucking NFL with its kneeling and shit. Or with its fucking counteractive response to protesting a national anthem, because they're not fucking creeps and old 80-year-old white men. Sports ball, rubber. Thoughts on quantum entanglement theory? Thoughts on string theory? Okay. I'm gonna look this shit up and totally get my opinion of it afterwards. Quantum entanglement. Phenomenon of a group of particles being generated, interacting, or sharing spatial proximity in such a way that the quantum state of each particle of the group cannot be described independently of the state of the others, including when the particles are separated by a large distance. Quantum state. Okay. So you're saying that that quantum particles, they're ones that have such a bond that they're literally inseparable from each other, so they're not even individual particles, but a like chain. And that's why they're able to function together. Like what particles does this apply to? All particles? Same difference? String difference. Okay. Thoughts on multiple dimensions running into each other, basically. Are you going to use that as a theory for like a Barron Trump situation or something? There's multiple dimensions and they're all interacting with each other. So then does that create time, or does that create the current dimension that we're all in? Is it because multiple dimensions are all interacting with each other all at once? So we're not one dimension, but a series of dimensions. I'm so noisy. I'm about to win money on Golden State Warriors. Let's fucking go, dude. I love the Warriors. It's word salad. I see. Curry injured at the moment, but they're still mogging. Yep, because the Warriors plan ahead, and they always got a new generation of guys. Yes. We're entangled together, Hank. Yes, exactly. That's what it means. Described independently of the state, particles are separated. Is at the heart of the disparity. Quantum. Function collapse. Original quantum state with the such as measurements. Subject 1935 paper by Albert Einstein, Boris Podolsky, and Nathan Rosen. It was from Albert Einstein. That's very interesting. As spooky action at a distance. So there's a moment where there are multiple dimensions interacting at once. So we're talking about by folding the space-time continuum. Hope we're in the dimension where Stipe wins. That I think that's what the quantum entanglement theory is really about. It's about Stipe Miocic beating Jon Jones. That's the explaining factor. From the atomic particles to the galaxies above. So everything is linked together, and so nothing is one dimension, but multiple. How Smelly knows the fabric of space and time. AJ gets it. Okay. Well, I don't. So that's great. Anyway, on to my next big news story. But hey, if it ends up having monumental consequences, so be it. Gotta fucking love it. And I also like that we were able to, what was it? A perpetual motion machine, I'm pretty sure. We were able to have perpetual energy. And so now scientists have actually found a way to create energy that continues and continues and continues and never runs out. So we have a new, potentially a new solution to a future energy crisis where we're reliant on fossil fuels and other necessary resources to power up our society. Now we're going to have machines in the future that don't need any sources whatsoever. Anyway, my next bit of MMA news, goddammit. 0 Point Energy, Hank. Yes, sir. It's pretty good. Anyway, my next bit of MMA news. God bless UFC Roster Watch, the career tracker on Twitter that announces both the signings and releases of fighters from the UFC. Sometimes they can be very depressing, but for the most part, I love seeing fighters on the regionals who fought on short notice getting signed, and even more seeing fighters I think are washed or who I despise getting cut from the promotion. Too many crappy fighters in the UFC in all its divisions. So periodical downsizing is absolutely necessary to a good and legitimate sports organization. I mention all this because this week, Roster Watch announced that 7 more fighters have been cut from the UFC, including, thank you, Jesus, Robelis Despaigne, who was largely disappointed in one of the UFC's easiest weight divisions and given, honestly, some of the worst performances I've ever seen in heavyweight history, at least on the ground. And that's saying something given all the obese and no coordination heavyweights they have in that division. His last 2 fights sucked. The magic of the regionals is completely gone, apart from a nicely timed win against Josh Parisian, where he still managed to look sloppy and vulnerable on the feet. Good riddance. Don't have to burn MMA bettors' money anymore, big guy. Also on the chopping block. Oh, actually, I'll get to that second half of the news story in just a second. But what do you know, guys? Robelis Despaigne is gone. I'll continue with the rest of the firings later. What do you guys think of the news that Robelis Despaigne is fired from the UFC? And what do you think of what is it called? What do you think of UFC Roster Watch? Do you pay attention to that Twitter account all that much? Hello. I know comments take a little bit of time. Hype train derailed. Love it. I mean, Matua, like, there are hype trains that you can get behind, though, right? Yankee fans banned from Game 5 after egregious Mookie Betts incident. Jesus. They still final World Series champions. Nice. Let's go, dude. Fuck yeah. Francis has someone new to fight at least, yeah, in the PFL. God's sake. It would be nice if there was a nimble heavyweight that can kick heads off. I think the closest we have to that is Tom Aspinall, as well as Cyril Gahn. But yeah, we don't really have a lot of big, scary heavyweight kickboxers, and I think that's why Alex Pereira would be. It would be really interesting to see Alex Pereira move up. That'd be pretty fucking cool because he'd be able to head kick fools. Um, but what other hype trains do you actually like, Mantua? There's got to be some, right? I can't say I care that they cut him. Yeah, I don't really care either. Like he looked like shit in his first fight. I know he got a knockout, but he looked just so weird and cluttered and uncoordinated on the feet. And then had his second fight in front of a crowd and bored them to death. And then even in the fucking Apex, he didn't deliver. So honestly, it was bad for the company. And I don't think he ever had a chance of becoming a contender or someone in the top 15 or becoming a champion. Maybe he comes back and proves me wrong, but I don't know. I think karate in general is just a dying base in MMA. Let's be honest, guys. Karate's on the way out. Like, I don't think you're going to have a lot of future UFC contenders who are karate experts first. I know there was that woman, Duben, who got that huge knockout on Contender Series, got that big overhand right, and then that was pretty cool. Maybe she does well at in women's strawweight and becomes sort of a karate hottie. But I don't know. It seems like these karate fighters, they look good at first, and then eventually they run into some grapplers, and then they're never the same again. Their problem's always on the ground. I like the Bo Nickel hype train. I like American wrestlers. They care about transferring over to MMA. I care. Yeah, in some ways he is. He was able to get a knockout, So, who was it? I think it was Val Woodburn. He got a knockout against, so that was pretty good. But at the same time, like I wasn't all that impressed with his performance against Cody Brundage. And then there was someone else he fought after that. Yeah, Cody Brundage. It was a lame fucking performance, man. He was so dependent on that takedown. And it did, in some ways it reminded me of Khamzat Chimaev, where it's like, oh, tries to go for the takedown right away and gets in some grappling. But honestly, he doesn't impress all that much on the feet. So I honestly don't know what his ceiling is. I doubt it's very high, to be honest. But I do hope that he wins against Paul Craig just so we can have some hype there. And then do Shara Magomedov versus Bo Nickel. Just so we could have Bo Nickel fucking destroy that one-eyed bastard. That'd be nice. Who's with me? Bo Nickel versus Shara Magomedov. Get rid of that guy who fucking jumped that stranger on the escalator for kissing his girlfriend. That petty fucking bitch who kicks his opponents at BJJ competitions. I'm liking the way I'm liking the Xiong Wang hype train. She's now a part of the red wave that's happening in women's MMA. Yeah, well, she's part of the flyweight division, so yeah, she could very well win a world championship, and that'd be pretty fucking cool. I love the Joker gimmick with her as well because he's got a crazy ass smile. So that nickname is actually very appropriate for her, and she sounds fucking crazy during her post fight interview. So it seems like she has that Joker nickname for a reason. It transfers to the cage, man. I hope that she can stay scary on the fucking feet and keep getting knockouts because looks like she's got some power in her mitts, dude. We need that in these women's divisions in order to actually get some hype back on this thing, That's why I'm hoping that Kayla Harrison fucking destroys Juliana Pena as well, just because she actually knows how to finish her opponents. Pena doesn't know how to do that. I will give Pena credit because she did have a more conventional approach to her fight with Raquel Pennington. But at the same time, she's not on the level of Kayla Harrison, in my opinion. I like Cody Steele. I do like Cody Steele as well. That just got signed through Contender Series. Vicious grappler. Yeah, and also pretty fucking tough on the feet too and technical with those body shots that knocked out his opponent. That was really good stuff. I love a guy who can level change, go up and down, dig to the body, go to the head. Actually has good fundamentals because you'd be shocked how far just knowing the fundamentals of striking and timing can get you in this sport. People forget, man. All right, let's get to my next bit of MMA news. Yeah, God bless Cody Balls of Steel. Ooh. Hello, Mr. Toad. Where are the Shavkat injury rumors from? So basically, they were mentioned on Twitter. There was an image, a photo of Shavkat wearing a knee brace at one of his gyms. And then James Lynch mentioned it in a Q&A. And then he ended up having to private that stream. And then a guy named Kevin K said that he had heard that the fight was off beforehand. And then he saw the photo and it basically affirmed a rumor that he'd been hearing around that the fight was off. And then he deleted that tweet as well. So seems like MMA journalists who are mentioning his injury are forced to like close their streams and not have them public or get rid of comments. So I don't know. It's just sort of weird. He could just be trying to not spread false rumors. Good job, because now I'm talking about it. But at the same time, like if it is true, and a lot of those few people are picking up on it, like it could be a true rumor. That's all I'm saying. There's a chance. Then also, Sean Strickland said that he was able to write on the dotted line for the contract for a title fight with Dricus du Plessis already. So it doesn't look like Khamzat's going to get it. Also, Sean O'Malley messaged the Hawk to a girl 5 times, which is freaky as fuck. And then what else was I mentioning? Oh, and Robelis Despaigne has been cut, which is awesome. We'll probably end up with Belal versus Usman. Then that actually makes a lot of sense. Why didn't I think of that? That's already a fight that was bubbling on Twitter. So yeah, that's definitely the replacement fight to make. Who would you assign as the backup for the Belal fight? Just what Mr. Toad said. So I'd put him against Usman and would draw some money, especially on short notice. You always want the guy who can draw money. Who would you call to save the title fight? Yeah, it'd probably be Usman. I mean, that makes sense, right? Wouldn't trust Colby at all. It would either be Usman or it would be Jack Della Maddalena. Because I know he'd be willing to fight. He always wants to fight. But Usman probably makes more sense. And maybe Dustin Poirier to add some fucking hype. Like, now that's a stretch. Or Charles Oliveira, brother. If we're talking like circus title fight, then yeah. Usman getting a title fight is BS, but if JDM is still injured, there's no better option. Exactly. It's just an unfortunate situation. So, I mean, the thing with these Eurasian fighters is that they usually find a way to push through their injuries going into fights. So, it's not like Shavkat hasn't fought injured before, too. So, it's likely that he does have an injury, but he'll keep it quiet and he'll still fight for the title, I think. Lose Colby's number, I agree. Yeah, pretend he doesn't exist and just cut him when nobody's looking. He's just a fucking tumor to the sport at this point. He's not doing anything good for business. Let JDM heal. Yeah, okay. Well, unfortunately, he'll never heal from that crooked nose of his unless he gets the number of DDP's cosmologist and he can put that thing back in place. Is Colby still around? In random ass tweets and random ass videos and bullshit. Yeah, he's still around. You wouldn't know it though from his activity. Kamaru's old too and barely has knees. Give Kamaru one last chance, similar to Volk. Well, on short notice, yeah, it makes sense. And there's a logic to it, and there's a story there. You could easily do a quick face-to-face interview before the show. It makes sense. And again, unconfirmed that Shavkat has an injury that's worthy of canceling the fight. But anyway, let me finish up my second half of my story. So yeah, good riddance to Robelis Despaigne. Also on the chopping block were Mateusz Nicolau, who I'm sad to see go after he came pretty close to winning against Asu Almabayev for that right hand in the third round. I honestly think that Nicolau does have talent. It's just he's been given a murderer's row to deal with at flyweight, and that's not always the best. Also fired were Jessica Penne, Tamiris Vidal, Vinicius Salvador, not Oliveira, not Vinicius Oliveira, Vinicius Salvador, Jesse Butler, and Charalampos Gregorio. Yes! Get fucked, Cyprus, motherfucker. Get rid of that zero gas tank fraud. Also, guys, if it makes anyone sad about this news, feel any better, Carlos Leal, after that horrible robbery against Renat Fakretnov, is signed to the UFC. So there's a silver lining to everything. Thank you very much, Roster Watch. So Carlos Leal, after that terrible decision, is going to be still in the UFC. Call a lightweight that is closer to 170 right now. Gamrot. Yeah, battle of the crotch sniffers. Battle of the wet carpets. See who can breathe on the other the longest. That might honestly be a good fight, but Gamrot's coming off a loss. He doesn't deserve anything. Maybe H170. Maybe 170. H170. What is that? But anyway, sad to me that Nicolau's gone. I liked Mateusz Nicolau. Who the fuck would pay for Belal versus Gamrot? Nobody. JL though. I think JL would pay for it. So it wouldn't be a complete flop. They would have one guy who bought the pay-per-view, and his name is JL. So also bedtime MMA probably. I would. Yeah, but you're not the UFC fan base, Matua. I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, and it's a sad fact of life. Whoever is drawing the most money or creating the most drama is gonna get the title fight usually, or gets to be on the marquee of the card. I meant to write Hooker. Yeah, now there you go. There's the right option, Matua. Hooker is willing to fight pretty much anybody, so that's a matchup that makes sense. And he would make it a fight for sure. So, but then again, yeah, if you got the option of Usman or Jack Della Maddalena, yeah, have those two guys fight instead. Loving Hooker's second wind and wrestling defense upgrade. Ever since Claudio Puelles, he's been able to stuff those takedowns and knock out these BJJ soy boys. Lemmy Cook, you haven't been cooking at all. What are you talking about, two smelly fingers? You haven't even been around. Are you going to cook up a fucking paragraph of something? If so, you got to let me know in advance. Love Hooker's performance against Gamrot. I do too. Yeah, I do as well. He's a tough SOB, that's for sure. He's better on the feet than Gamrot, but then again, fucking RDA was able to drop Gamrot, and you saw what happened to him against Geoff Neal. So I think Gamrot's pretty fucking shit on the feet in general. But Hooker was able to stuff those takedowns, man. People forget, man. And he also had a really close fight with Jalen Turner, so it's not like Gamrot's the be-all, end-all of lightweight. Guy fucking stinks. I'm going to sleep, your boy. You're going to be disappointed. Fucking Gamrot, dude. No gamer. I bet he hasn't even played a fucking video game. Belal versus Usman sells more than even Shavkat, so if he's out, they will go with Kamaru. Good point, Mr. Toad. It's a business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I can always make two smelly fingers laugh. Hooker is a game fighter, always. He's a fucking prize fighter. He shows up for that bag, he'll fight fucking anybody as long as it keeps advancing him up the division. And a lot of people are complaining about the lightweight division, and I think rightfully saying that the featherweight division is way better than it, which is true. But at the same time, it's sort of fun to have all these vets at the top having big super fights and stuff that actually sells pay-per-views, you know? Because, like, you know, Poirier allowed himself to have a big title fight with Islam. That was huge. He got to have that great fight with Benoit Saint Denis at UFC 299. Gaethje has that incredible moment against Holloway. Like, for everybody complaining about the lightweight division, it sure seems to produce a lot of great moments in the sport. So I thank my fucking prayers that we got guys like Hooker and Gaethje and Dustin and Chandler and Oliveira on top, not fucking Armin, but that we have legends of the sport who are all at the top and all having big time fights. Kind of lame of Conor trying to call him out. Yeah, well, Conor, he honestly, I don't blame him. I don't blame Conor for that one because, dude, if you're gonna come back and it's been like 2 years, you better pray that you're coming back against an easy matchup like a fucking cowboy. So if he goes against Dustin Poirier again, he's getting slept. Against Gaethje, he might get slept too. Like Chandler is very low fight IQ, so McGregor could easily rock him. Like if I were McGregor, I'd actually try to have a fight where I got a good chance of winning, especially if I'm not that active. It's sort of like Ngannou, In any other world, Fury would have fucking in any other dimension, and that again adds that quantum alignment theory, and explains Francis Ngannou dropping Fury. Like some guys are putting themselves in situations after months or years off, where you're going to look really bad if you don't win. So if I were Conor, I'd play my cards right, but that Conor doesn't do that. Remember when the rumor that Conor wanted Diego Sanchez? Jesus Christ. It really is a sad decline to see. Like, and literally, and I'll get to it in a little bit. Conor did a tweet recently in response to a fan telling him to retire after Khamzat beat Whitaker. And like, honestly, I'd follow that fan's advice because Conor really doesn't have anything to gain from coming back except getting another L and further ruining his legacy. Hooker is more than game. Hooker is improving. He's improving, damn it. Love to see the strikers acquire an upgrade against the grappler heavy fighters. I know, dude. That is what we got to be fucking praying for. We got to pray that this new generation of talent is all working on stuffing takedowns and knocking these motherfuckers out. I hope Peyton Talbot goes to the top and fucking sleeps Talbot or sleeps Umar, Dude, if fucking what's his name? Bekzat can drop Umar, I know that fucking Talbot could if he stuffs enough of his takedowns. True, Poirier would smash Conor. He always does, somehow, some way. Conor will fight the people at his Narcotics Anonymous meeting before he fights in the UFC. Exactly. He's getting more hate. Conor McGregor and his prime made me think I could be a professional MMA fighter. Yeah. He was so fucking loosey-goosey and had fucking noodle arms, and he was still finding a way to win his fights, so... I mean, there are certain guys that like if fucking Glover Teixeira can win a title at 42, like, hey, it's worth a shot. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We lived the life we could. We fought and never lose. Those were the days. Oh, yes, those were the days. Yeah, but those days are long, long gone, unfortunately. And now we're in 2024, the best year in UFC history. Yay! Don't worry, guys, it's almost over. Now we actually have a fucking reason to celebrate a happy new year because this year for the UFC is almost fucking over. And that'll be nice. Christian Choir was never part of one, no. It was actually in High School Musicals. For my local high school, I would do actor performances. So I learned to sing. Glover was an amazing jiu-jitsu competitor, then turned Mike Tyson. And then they finally made the UFC worth the... He turned Mike Tyson on? Or turned into Mike Tyson. I got you pegged. No Diddy. I see. Pause. I'm going to make him my wife. Aw, damn. Why do you have to out me like that, man? If you put Hank the Tank and anybody and a theater kid in a room, they're never coming out. Fuck, if you say so. All right. Fine. Anyway, moving on to my next bit of MMA news, because you guys are you're revealing all these dark secrets about me, and I don't like it. Anyway, Jon Jones. Speaking of which, Jon Jones. All right, that is a smooth transition right there. Jon Jones has reached an agreement with the courts for his charges of assaulting a drug testing agent when he got up in her face, made threats, and took her phone away to record a video that painted them as trespassers. Yesterday, Judge Azra Elliott gave a sentence to Jones requiring him to avoid any trouble for 90 days and undergo 4 hours of anger management in order for the charges to be dropped. Jones thanked the justice system for reaching a prompt resolution that affirmed his innocence and allowed him to focus on his fight with Stipe on November 16th. I don't know if this agreement really affirms his innocence, since it implies that he's usually a troublemaker and has anger issues towards others, but I guess everything's interpretive if you look at it the right way. By the way, I encourage everybody here to spam Jon Jones's Twitter page with messages daring him to fight Tom Aspinall and say that he has a fake legacy in the sport. I would love to see his eventual reaction get his fight with Stipe canceled and put him in court again so Tom can fight for a vacant heavyweight belt. Sweet sentence. Justice prevails. Yeah. He actually had a fucking sentence, thank God. He didn't just go off the hook like that. Yeah, he ain't fucking innocent at all. I wish it was long enough so that his fight with Stipe could be canceled, though. Do you think rich people like Jon Jones get different treatment than us poors? Absolutely, I do. That is how the legal system works in general. There was literally a case where a young man in a really privileged family ran over like 6 or 7 people, and his legal defense cited the reason for it as affluenza, that he had too much money to have any sort of sympathy for others or any emotions towards another human being, and therefore he was criminally insane and didn't have to face any charges, and he got away with it, and the courts allowed it, and he got off with no sentence whatsoever because it was affluenza that pushed him to run over 6 people. So there you go. Jon Jones is poor. He's a poor soul for sure. Poor decency as a human. Case closed. One truth prevails. That is a very conservative take, Hank. It's not, because it has applied to rich people before. So Trump is getting the short end of the stick as one of the poors? No. He's fucking rich as he's rich as a bank. So you're going after a top 1% guy for, ditching his taxes and not paying his taxes. Like, he's been in court for that, along with a bunch of other cases, because he's a fucking orange man who's a fake motherfucker and has gotten himself in a bunch of legal cases for sexual assault and lying and a bunch of other shit. So definitely prevailed in the case of him. But in terms of actual like working class people and dealing with legal cases for anyone below the 1%, like, usually it's the richer person who prevails, or the one who's in people's good graces and has more publicity. Need to tell the poors to stop getting in the champ's way. Yeah, exactly. It's really selfish of them, to be honest. I remember when I had the influenza and I crashed the school bus into that river. How disgusting. You should get fucking death sentence, electric chair. 40 years. Terrible. Sorry, I didn't mean it. No problem. Trump is the Ted DiBiase of politics. Good point from Matua. Because the $1 million man always gets his way. Everybody's got a price for the $1 million man. Money, 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 money. Bo-do, do-do, boom, do-no, do-no-no. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's gonna pay. Because the $1 million man always gets his way. It's all about the money, as Vince McMahon would put it. Sorry, shouldn't have brought up the Teflon Dome. Don't worry about it. I love talking about it. How old are you? I'm 22, but I do act like a 6-year-old. It is true. But what can you say? I'm young at heart. They tried electrical therapy. I just got superpowers. So you basically have the origin story of Electro from Spider-Man. Gotcha. Or you're that dude from the Green Mile who got the fucking chair afterwards. Static Shock was based on me. Yeah. He should have gotten the chair, damn it. Instead, he became a superhero. Love Static Shock. Yeah, Static Shock's good. It's pretty fucking good. Facts. Static Shock, baby. Cartoon of the 90s. Touched on some pretty sensitive issues for a kids show. And you always love it when that happens, because when kids shows are actually focused on issues in the real world, they're going to help kids actually mature and be ready for those issues when they grow up. I like shows that are actually educational and constructive for kids in the real world. That's why I always loved Mr. Rogers, because he never skirted heavy topics and realistic issues. Deuce. I haven't heard about that cartoon in so long. Yeah. I only learned about it later. Like, I was busy watching Batman the Animated Series, and that's still probably my favorite animated show of all time. But Static Shock was definitely a very sensitive to real life society during the 90s and in tune with the fucking culture and some of its more pressing issues. So for that, I gotta respect it for sort of going above and beyond compared to the other kids shows. But that's how I really rank kids shows at the end of the day, is how much they're actually like telling the truth about the real world and how much they're just doing fucking cotton candy floss bullshit, colorful crap. You actually know it? Wow, that's lit, Hank. Yes, sir. Static Shock, baby. I heard they based the character of Storm from the X-Men on Whoa, Black Betty, Bam Balam. Black Betty, Bam Balam. Yeah, I remember I was chatting with Whoa, Black Betty once, and she told me a joke out of nowhere. It's like, do you know what happens to a toad in a thunderstorm? And then she's just sent, Whoa, Black Betty sent a bunch of fucking lightning my way and just threw me into a storm cloud. And lightning, you know. That was crazy when Whoa, Black Betty did that. You weren't alive in the 1900s. Seems like you were. Look at that fucking profile pic, dude. It looks like you were born in industrial era Europe, taking a photograph, a kinetoscope photograph, and putting like mercury on it to get the clear image. Smelly Fingers. My little brother used to watch it. Yes, sir. The 1900s is crazy. Well, I'm an old soul too. Hey, you youngins, stop making all that noise in my chat. I remember when they first took a photograph. Those were the good old days, I tell you. And Mr. Rogers, I remember I was a kid watching the 1960s television set. And let me tell you, Corn Pop was a bad dude. And I remember when the kids used to massage my legs. That Corn Pop, when I was a lifeguard, you understand. Batman, that's Shway. Yes, sir. BTAS. Hell yeah. Yes, The Secret Life of Benjamin Button. I'm 6 years old, but I look a lot older. I'm 10, but I'm fucking hairy and wrinkled as shit. God damn it. Why was Mr. Rogers always taking off his shoes? Because he's one of those guys that when you're indoors, he well actually he put on a new pair of shoes because he had his fucking running shoes that he used to go for walks, and I'm assuming that he stepped in a bunch of fucking shit in the neighborhood. I don't think Mr. Rogers was hanging out in the upper class, nice suburban neighborhoods. I think he was hanging out in the hood, dude. Eddie Murphy was onto something, dude. It wasn't Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, it was Mr. Rogers' hood. And yeah, he just had to sift through the shit whenever he got out of his home, man. The ghetto's tough. And so he had to change out his shoes all the time when he got home. Watched SpongeBob as a kid. I did too. Very political and ahead of its time, yes. Especially regarding Mr. Krabs and capitalism. And then Squidward union strike. But in general, greed and corporations and modern day algorithms for businesses. And playing with trains. And the cops were shit. The cops were shit in SpongeBob, and they very much are still shit in the real world. My nephew told me this news saying the kids say, "Four in the pink, whistle in the stink." Sounds like a anal joke. He was changing his shoes from work shoes to sneakers. Yes, because he was in his home environment. Yeah, Mr. Rogers lived in the city. That is for sure. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of neighbor children, blood on his sneakers. Yes, he couldn't let the police catch him. Don't trust him. Change your shoes. Wear house slippers. Yes, sir. Are we calling Mr. Rogers Mr. Diddy here? See, we're starting to share some traits between him and Diddy. I'm not liking it. My English not so good to. Okay, now we're going places. Too many fingers. 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 He must have like 8 fingers. Walter, I'm a finger named Paint, and I'm not doing this right now with you, Walter. I'm done being a finger for you, Walter. Look, Mom, 2 hands. Yeah, must have been a pretty big asshole. All right. Well, now that we have that out of the way, we've gotten our colonoscopy jokes handled. Always important to have a colonoscopy joke every now and again. We need more colonoscopy doctors on fucking Jeopardy so that they could call whenever they call. Or do you remember the joke where it's like, what is a garden tool? What is a tool that is used for work, but also occasionally for pleasure? What is a hoe? No. The real answer was fertilizer, rake. No, that is wrong. It's a healthy procedure. Definitely adds some mental stimulations and satisfies your hormones. So it's got to be pretty good for you, What is a cucumber? It depends on how you use it. You know what? Well, it's a very open question. Wait a minute. Wait just a damn minute. This is what 2 smelly fingers is like. Holy shit. I just thought of something. A cucumber. A hoe. Dude, though we put those things together. I could have a cucumber and a hoe at the same time. Yeah. Do chicks peel the cucumber before they use it? Yeah, they definitely peel the cucumber, but then they chop it up as well for green salad. So honestly, I wouldn't want to do a recreation of Funaki and WWF Attitude Era. Choppy choppy up pee. And all right, I don't want to be the dragon lady who cut the guy's ding dong off. That Wheel of Fortune guy that guessed right in the butt. Ew. Okay, I'll move on to my next story. God damn it. There's too much to handle. Too much for to handle. Anyway, my next bit of MMA news. Paddy Pimblich congratulated Ilya Topuria for his knockout win over Max Holloway in a shockingly humble way by calling him hand sanitizer boy and claiming that he still smokes him if they fought. You know how very kind and thoughtful Paddy Pimblett is. Conor McGregor then piled on and said that he's the king of featherweight and beats everyone in that division. And Topuria responded by saying that Conor McGregor should hope that God is protecting him because he's effing McGregor up the next time he sees him. In reality, neither of these matchups are likely to happen at all. Therefore, it's just a small story for the think tank. They definitely don't peel it. Yeah, they take it raw. Or if anything, they add another layer to it. Some salad dressing. There's a lot of tossing of the salad going on with chicks when they're dealing with cucumbers. Sometimes it doesn't involve cucumbers. Sometimes you toss your salad without any cucumbers. Be right back. No, that's a pickle. Pause. I said what in the butt? I said what in the butt? Jesus Christ. But anyway, what do you guys think of Topuria saying that he sleeps Conor, and then fucking Paddy saying that he sleeps Topuria, and Topuria saying that he sleeps Paddy, and that he beats Conor, and that Conor beats Paddy, and then he also beats Topuria. Does Paddy care? 2025 might be his year of ascension. Yeah, he honestly shouldn't care. He should just fight Moicano and get the title fight already. Okay, my bad. There we go. Perfect. That's going to be Two Smelly Fingers' profile pic for the rest of his days. Is Paddy booked? Nope. But Paddy's probably cooked in his next couple fights. I prefer using eggplants. Yeah, it's bigger for sure. It's definitely a better area overall. More satisfying. Paddy, getting his Paddy cooked. Yes, sir. Fucking with Ilya. Yes, sir. I think Ilya chins Paddy. He leaves his chin way up in the air. He's just begging to get fucking smoked by Topuria. This is degenerate talk. I know, but the stream goes long enough, and eventually we do become degenerates. Hey, girl, we're just as bad as Sean O'Malley's entourage. At the end of the day, we lower ourselves. Hey, girl, we lower ourselves. And but we have experience lowering ourselves. If you know what I'm saying. The profile picture, yes, sir. Finally, I'm part of MMA history. Two Smelly Fingers has adopted my language. At the day's end. Bodong, bodong. Oh, God! The moon! Oh! At the day's end, we're Americans, brother. And Americans are going to talk that shit, if you will. Can't wait to show up talking shit. You already are. With this picture. Yeah. I'm sorry, Two Smelly Fingers, but you're probably going to lose more conversations in the future with that profile picture. You goddamn Hank the Tank Stan. I hope Paddy fights at least 3 times in 2025. I wouldn't count on it. With his charisma, his stock will continue to rise. Yeah, but he always needs that time off for people to discredit him so that he can then build himself up again with the next fight. Democracy. Yes, sir. This is democracy manifest. Democracy is a fallacy, my brother. Vote early. Listen to Matua. Listen to Matua's comment. Vote early so that your vote counts. And also, when we vote early, We win. So help my party out, guys. Come on. I'm going to convert the masses. Watch me cook. But in all seriousness, it is good to vote early because you guarantee that the vote is counted. And there's always strangeness with there's always some controversies with counting the votes, especially at the end. So we want to make sure that they're in early. I'm going to convert the masses. Watch me cook. Fucking amazing Moicano impression. Okay. And let me tell you something, chat. The fucking French, they made sure to disrespect God, my brother. And I went to the Louvre and I saw French people are beautiful. But one thing I learned is that they get rid of God, my brother. Fuck Macron, my brother. And I recommend right-wing economics book. And it really opened up my mind. And I want easy money. Impression of you react to Trump winning by 30 electoral votes. I'll do the wait, hold on. Let me check. Close. No! Why? Oh! That one lady, or is that even a dude? I don't even know who that is. Bro, you were going to be so sad in a week or so. Yeah, sure. It's a razor close race, right? That's what everybody wants to call it. So I don't know, man. It's usually the people that are the most confident are the most likely to lose. That's me during every fucking main event prediction. I would go to a Diddy party. If you have to leave at 11:20 sharp, he'll still find a way to do some freaky shit and some lube activities. So it's gonna happen as soon as you enter the doors. They'll never let you out. Well, there was some Brazilian guy claiming to be Moicano, sounded just like him, but he wanted my socials. And if you want big money, my brother, you have to give me a social security number, my brother. You get free money, and I triple what you earn by having AI run UFC rankings. You bet on money, Moicano, you get everything back and more, my brother. What is your social security, Smelly? I don't know, Matua. Sweet. Well, I'm glad people like my impression there. Sean O'Malley. Oh, God. Yo, what is up going on? What is going on, guys? You are here with the Timba and Sugar Show, and I tell you, Tim Welsh, they messaged me the other day, and I think he's got this. I think that Peter Yan, he's got that fight, man. Honestly think I won 3 rounds, and yeah, I honestly think that Batista won. I don't know what's going on, but and he always is like this. He's always looking forward with his face, and he's like, yeah, I think Batista won. I think Batista won all 3 rounds, and Aldo didn't even come close. And yeah, man, I'm in an open relationship with my wife, and I gave her $250. You know, I gave her $1,000 to show that I loved her, and then I slept around with a bunch of women afterwards. Thoughts on a South African bribing voters with $1,000 a day to? Yeah, exactly. Fucking disgusting, dude. I hate that little piece of shit, Elon. I'm dark gothic MAGA, guys. I'm a 12-year-old who needs friends. I'm a goth MAGA. You don't mind if I use this picture, though? Go ahead. My bad, I went 1 million a day. Yeah, fucking bastard. 1 to 9. I'm a original. See? He didn't even use an before original. That's pretty good. Thoughts on Hank paying me to watch? I make that good AJ money, dude. Shavkat fought Wonder Boy injured. Yes, and so he actually does have a good chance in there against Belal, and I think that's why he's still going to end up fighting him. But you guys could fade Shavkat in the future and make a pretty penny because like all the results are going on like that. I don't want to glaze too hard, but I think the reason you are good at impressions is because you lean into it. I'd hesitate. People don't get it. People forget, man. People forget that Hank Tank's the GOAT, man. Yeah, it's because I watch it and I just memorize it like a fucking parrot. And I know that I know what's funny, or I know how to exactly match it. So ever watch Kill Tony? I did. I watched the Shane Gillis episode where he was Trump, and the dude who played Biden was really fucking good too. Those two guys killed it. So I really liked both performances on that one episode. But dude, the comedians they have are fucking shit, dude. They can't even call themselves comedians. They just want to basically say whatever controversial thing comes into their mind. No honesty to it, no truth to it, no universalism to their comedy, and just it's like a pie in the fucking face. Like I honestly think that that show has played host to some of the worst stand-up performances we've ever seen in comedy history. And Tony's a fucking idiot, as we saw recently with that MSG rally. Latinos they never pull out. They're always coming, just like they're coming into this country. And also, there's a floating isle of garbage. It's Puerto Rico. And just to let you know, the administration allowed everything I said to be read on this prompter. So, and also watermelon. Yeah, he's trying his absolute best to make sure he loses it. So good job, Tony. I gave you that extra $250,000 to make those jokes and plummet the whole campaign. So good job, man. Hank, to win my vote, who is the lesser shoe lover, Kamala or Trump? I'd say it's Kamala because she is more likely to want a ceasefire. And I know that sounds crazy given Joe's a fucking Zionist. But at the same time, she's had talks with people who are part of the uncommitted movement, whereas Trump's like, you hate Israel. You hate Israel. I love him. So, he's calling the Democrats hating Israel. So they're sucking Netanyahu's Yahoo way more than them. Sorry. They built an embassy to make sure that there was no Palestinian capital. So they're both Zionists. You have to have an ear for impressions. Adam Ray and Shane Gillis. Yes, sir. I like those both. True. Good show. Bloody good show. Those jokes were great. Really good, really good. Yeah, especially the Puerto Rican audience. That they're just laughing at themselves with that one. The Puerto Rican joke was dumb. At this time, what the fuck? She is, but I think in terms of like foreign politics, it's definitely the ones who will sell out to the money the easiest. Vote for whoever pardons Diddy. Yeah, because he's an innocent little angel, that P. Diddy. I'm voting third party. Good for you, AJ. Maria, G's nuts. Can eat a dick. Okay. Maria, Ave Maria, you know I am an honest man. Anyway, next bit of MMA news. Dana White claimed during his post-fight press conference for UFC 308 that the UFC was taking care of Shane Carwin post-retirement and has always helped him out, despite his letter where he mentioned struggling to pay basic expenses or keep his job due to brain damage and CTE. If Dana's right about the UFC helping, it's obviously not enough. I'll trust Carwin over Dana about his present condition and quality of life every time. I hope the new financial settlement offer from the UFC for their fighters prior to 2017 is distributed ASAP. Writing in Hank the Tank, yeah, gobbledygook and chicken scratch. That's my thing, man. Autocorrect just decides what I type for me. Yeah, it's taking over, man. AI. I'm scared, man. I just can't take this shit no more. Dana lies. That's honestly what he should change his federal last name to, rather than Dana White. I don't need this stress. Yeah, exactly. You gotta be free, man. You gotta get out of this chat, dude. I'm driving you crazy. Hank for America. Hank for America. I care so much. I care about you. But also, I super glued all my facial expressions in my hand to my face. So I'm constantly saluting this country, you understand? I am for absolutely destroying anybody that is not in this country and being a total isolationist by releasing atomic bombs all over the world, holding it hostage for $1 million. If you were president, Hank, first day in office, you could pass something. What would it be? I think, yeah, just thinking about it. I would pass Medicare for all. Might also pass a form of universal basic income, so that nobody has a wage that's below living wage. Then I'd try to find a way to get us back into the Iran nuclear deal. And then what else? And then I would basically try to put back in all the provisions that got cut out in the Inflation Reduction Act, and basically have another green New Deal and basically protect our planet from climate change. So that's what I'd do. Joking around. Picks for Edmonton. Oh, I'll get to that, Paradox Chat. You have to wait for Thursday. I can give you a first impression, but these aren't going to be my own. These probably aren't going to be my thoughts later, but just looking at the card, I can go through them with you. When Dana and his wife fought in the club, is that still? Yeah. I mean, technically wasn't in the house, so it's club abuse. They abused the owners of the club. How long would they have health care? As long as the hospitals were open. It would be for everybody. It's universal health care. Good fucking answer on the health care. Yeah. Because we just need people who can be treated by doctors at any place at any time, because otherwise you're just allowing people with horrible injuries or conditions or sudden moments where they need medical attention. I want all those people to get treated right away, rather than having to wait in line and fucking die in the waiting room. You know, there are people that need treatment right away, and doctors don't need to get paid so damn much. Or the hospitals don't need to get paid so damn much, as well as the people who produce the drugs. And I would lower all those drug prices as well, and make it actually worth what it takes to manufacture. Take away the gloves and have an absolute division, no weight class, redesign the cage. That is what I would do as president. That is true. I agree 100% about climate change. Yeah, it's an existential threat. And I know that Bodak told me that maybe it's not going to be, it's going to destroy the entire human race. And it might be right about that. Humanity, I think, will evolve when the push comes to shove. But at the same time, we still need to prevent its worst effects that could really cause some fucking economic damage at the bare minimum. So I'm going to pick probably Yusuf Zalal, Jamie Lynn Horth, Cody Gibson. God, who wins between Sadie and Armfield? I'm going to look at Armfield's last fight. Got fucking rear naked choked by Brady Highstand. He had a good fight with Katona, but God, honestly, I might consider Ramon, to be honest. I mean, I might consider Sadie, but I'm not sure. I might change that pick later. Probably I'll change it depending on predictors that I follow. Romanov versus Rodrigo. I think Romanov wins that. Jourdain versus Henry. I still think Jourdain just has some talent, dude. So I got faith in Jourdain. I think Jasuda Vicious. What was her last fight? What was Lipski's last fight? Karine Silva, unanimous decision. Honestly, she didn't look too bad in that fight. Casey O'Neill. Ugh. God, I don't know who to pick in that fight. I'll get to that later. I'm sorry. Zahabi versus Munoz. I think Zahabi could win it, honestly. He could win. I think Munoz is a little gas, so I think Zahabi could pull that one off. Mallet versus Trevin Giles. I'm fucking praying that Mallet pulls it off, dude. Praying that Mallet pulls it off. Barrialt versus Stoltzfus. That's honestly a good fight because both men never back down. Get treated the right way after their fight. Marc-Andre Barrialt versus Stoltzfus. God, Barrialt sort of sucks. Stoltzfus does too, but I could see a Stoltzfus upset against Barrialt. I could see it. I could honestly see it. I'd say that's a pretty close fight. Machado versus Ribeiro. Probably picking Machado in that one. Lewis versus Deniz. I really favor Yanata Doniz, so I'd probably pick him. Humanity is the cause of global warming. I'd assume that it is. Bodak, yeah, that's his name. And then Namajunas versus Blanchfield. Probably going to go with Blanchfield in that one. I'm hoping that she's improved after that Manon Fierro fight. I think she's good enough that she can take Rose Namajunas down and beat the shit out of her. And then Moreno versus Albazi. Basically, there have been no main events where people that I like, fighters that I like, win. So I prefer Moreno over Albazi, so pick Amir Albazi. And he's just one of those guys that's going to fluke his way to the top, so he'll just beat Moreno. What would you do to change it? What would you do to change it? I'd install more solar panels and get us back on nuclear energy since it was working before. And also work on that perpetual motion machine to get some everlasting energy to fuel our factories and not rely on fossil fuels. And I also cut down on methane that's being used by cows and work on more solutions to limit methane production as much as I possibly can because it's even worse than carbon dioxide. And then I'd make global agreements, keep us in Paris climate, work with India to limit its coal production and China as well. And that's what Gavin Newsom's doing, actually. Our economy is going to collapse eventually. It always does every once in a while, but tends to happen under someone who favors the elites over the people of this country. They create economic bubbles because they allow the businesses and the stocks to keep on growing and growing. Thoughts on the Jays? I am an ethnic Jay, so sorry for that bombshell. National debt interest making up 75% of our debt payments now. Yeah, but we can always change our currency. We can always change the gold standard. And like Republicans always try to make a big fuss over the economy. Oh man, economic doomsday. We're all doomed. And then we change the economy just a little bit. Oh, never mind. We're all good. And again, like we've been able to balance the budget before. BRICS is in the process of forming and dumping the dollar. That is a cause for concern. So we need to make economic changes of our own that keep U.S. as the dollar that doesn't require war. Did you know only Americans and Jews get circumcisions? Well, in Middle East, they circumcise more than just your dick. If you go outside the religious faith, they cut off many different parts sexually. Why do you think that is, assuming I'm not lying? We are about to see hyperinflation until the interest of our principal hits 100% and we insolvent. Well, I think the problem isn't inflation, it's price gouging. And it's actually at a decent rate right now. It's sort of remained stable. But yeah, we still need to keep on lowering inflation. But I really do think that there are companies that are keeping prices high because they know they can get away with it. It's true, though, they're going to tank the currency and leave the people with the bill. That is true. We'll see how we can change. I too am Jew-ish, Hank. Exactly, Smelly. BRICS ain't dropping the dollar. So, as one of the chosen ones, why do you think we're hated? I think it's just because we're our own version of Christianity, but also because we were there first, and everybody blames us for killing Christ when we didn't really do that. Um, and I think that there's a lot of people who just dumped Judaism in favor of Christianity, and then they just hated that Judaism was still around, that their older brother was still hanging out, or their old uncle was around. So now they just want to get rid of the old uncle. Um, and the fact that we hadn't any success in the movie industry and in certain industries in America, they expand that to include all businesses and say that we run the entire economy. I think it's made up of mostly stereotypes and just the fact that we're number two to Christianity and they hate that. But I will say that the Zionists and the Israelites who took over territory in Israel, I think they had no right to do that at all. So they gave us we had a good they had a good reason for them to hate us for that one. But in terms of just us being evil economic, tyrants and controlling everything behind the scenes. There's been conspiracies in several countries about ethnic minorities, and that includes the Jews, religious minorities as well. Can you read Hebrew? Unfortunately, I can't because I'm only ethnic. I don't practice it. That Talmud, as it's originally written and stuff. I'll have to give it a try because I've got relatives who do practice the faith. Talmud is a bit crazy. BRICS should drop the dollar. Singular country dropping the dollar gets invaded by the U.S., such as Libya. I need you to chill, AJ. Now I have to call my financial fiduciary. Yeah. Well, you guys are going to tip the scales of the economy now. Good job, guys. Anyway, my last bit of MMA news. Conor McGregor, see you at the top, responded to a tweet advising him to retire after seeing the brutal injury to Whitaker's teeth from Khamzat Chimaev's head crank, saying, "You know what? You're right. Goodbye." I'm pretty sure he's joking, but if he's not, I think that's pretty stupid, given he's dealing with either Michael Chandler or Dan Hooker, who aren't exactly the scariest or most dominant guys at lightweight. He'd be a fool not to have his last fight be a manageable W against one of those last two guys. So pretty dumb. Two Smelly Fingers looks like a puffy Woody from Toy Story. Hey, he has my profile picture. You calling me a puffy Woody? Why do you think they were banned from 109 countries, though? Because countries that have a certain religion as the majority hate other ethnicities and religions under them. And so they want to see him gone. And it's not just Judaism, it's multiple religions. There's a bunch of ethnic cleansings historically over time and mass expulsions. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Unfortunately, cultures sometimes just can't get along. And usually that's because of the ones that are in power. Cowboy. Cerrone. Come on, Wick. That ain't right. Not cool. I only date adult toys, so you know. Yeah, just so we know. That ain't true. I hope that's not true. But Tua, yeah, bro, I've been keeping an eye on this, and I just don't see this going well for us. It's not always good to have a nihilistic mindset or a doomeristic mindset, AJ, until the news is really out. Lopes versus Volk booked. Let's fucking go. Wait, was it actually booked? Calls for interim title fight. Is in the works for UFC 312 on February. Nice. Let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, they had to because they needed Volk for Australia. They couldn't just have him wait so long for fucking Spain. Come on. I checked the manufacturer date first. Yeah, he checked it on the milk. It's expired. It is everywhere. I'm omnipotent. Nah, you just everywhere. Take the joke, Wick. Come on. February 12th, Sydney. Yeah. Reddit told me it must be true. Why is that word / accusation always being thrown around in MMA chats? A pedo? It's because it's the creepiest one. It's because Kendrick accused Drake of doing that, so it's on people's brains as the ultimate roast. Rigo is, so now people are accusing everybody in MMA YouTube of being it. I'd say calling people racist would honestly be more of a fitting accusation for most of these discords. I am the Alpha and Omega. That's right, he's Kenny Omega, baby. And he's a beta, too. Pretty good. I never seen you before in my life. Where the hell you seen me? Jesus Christ, what's going on? I'm losing control of my chat here. You know, in other countries, they cut out your tongue for that kind of slander. Wow. They dare to cut mine. Jesus. Peter Yan 2024 comeback. I hope so, dude. Hey, guys. I'm back. I'm back, guys. That'd be nice. Your tongue is up some donkey's ass, I'm sure. Yeah. My tongue's up some donkey's ass. Democrats 2024. Come on, baby. No bueno. All right, I got 3 more minutes, then I'm gonna head out, guys. I got some picks to make, and then I gotta head to bed soon. So. Kayla Harrison, 2024. Yes, sir. I agree. Kayla Harrison for president and for women's champion. Bantamweight. Fuck the picks. I'm going to be a complete amateur when Thursday comes around. Come on. Who said Shavkat's injured? That was Jesus Christ. James Lynch said that in a Q&A, and then he privated it. And then a dude named Kevin K said that he had heard that the fight was canceled on Twitter before, and the picture seemed to affirm his suspicions as well. So there is a rumor going around, a nasty, nasty rumor about Shavkat being injured. 3 minutes, that's definitely a signal. It's go time. I had time to get ultra fucking unhinged. Yeah, let loose, guys. Let chaos reign. Random ass fucking emojis. Skatesman emojis. Hank the Tank emojis. Call each other whatever you want. Let the hate. If you got hate, let it out. You got hate, let it out, brother. Catch you next stream. Good night. Good night. Hey, girl. What you doing going to sleep so early? Woke media news. I see. How can it be woke if it's, about MMA? I know that there are certain wokes in MMA news, but hey, I gotta relay what I get. It's time. Hate is evil. Love is the way. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Jesus Christ. You starting to talk shit about the relatives. I wouldn't do that. You probably got a relative who's gay too. Come on now. James Lynch can't take a joke. That is true. I love you too, Smelly Fingers. Aw. There we go. It's facts that he loves two Smelly Fingers. If you like it, then you should have put the ring on it. Yes, sir. We need some gay love in here. Come on, let's get some gay love in here, chat. Jon Jones level gay love. Come on. What, James Lynch calling your podcast amateur hour? Are you saying that he's calling me amateur hour? First of all, I'm not amateur hour. I'm amateur hours. I went 2 hours, okay? I'll see you later, bud. Thank you very much, Two Smelly Fingers. I appreciate you, brother. And, hey, I'm going to head out pretty soon. Troopers and Grinders, give me 1 second to pull up. Yes, sir. And until we meet again, Troopers and Grinders, you have escaped the war zone for now. All right, listen here, Troopers and Grinders. And I'm telling you, Two Smelly Fingers, and I'm telling you, John Wick MMA, all you got to do to get into the studio. And for you too, Matua, And hey, girl, all you have to do is go to the back of the limo and let Donald Trump do whatever he wants to you. You understand me? No! Get it away from me! Oh my God, it's not even that big. Ah!